Well, good afternoon, First Baptist Church. Welcome to the Monday blog. As you know, Pastor Bill's taken on a sabbatical for the next 15 weeks, and I've taken on a different role at the church. But I don't want to let the blogs go to waste. I really enjoy putting them together, and I know that there's people in our congregation that enjoy listening to them. And I just love looking at the text and looking at different books that we don't always go to. And so if you would turn to Haggai chapter 2 here, we're going to look at verse 15 as I share my screen. The first thing I want you to notice is the words consider from this day onward. And it's not just here in 15, it's also in 18. And then we see something here at the end of 18. So there's like this link between these particular considers. Now, there's a lot of debate about exactly what's going on, but I really think he's just emphasizing, he's considered from this day onward, right? And then he wants them to reflect on what was happening before they laid this foundation at the temple of the Lord. And we can look at it in our own lives. Before we laid the foundation, before we allowed God to be a part of our life, before we allowed God and we surrendered to him, how did you fare? It says this, when one came to the heap of 20 measures, or the grain, there was but 10, so 50% down in production. When one came to the wine vat to draw 50 measures, there was but 20, so it's 60% less production. God's telling him, I struck you and all the products of toil, with blight and mildew and with hail, yet you did not turn to me, declares the Lord. So we're seeing that God is using these struggles, these trials, these difficult moments in our life to draw us to him. And then we see Haggai, he repeats this word, consider from this day on. Right? Something is different here. This isn't God punishing us, but we're seeing the Israelites turning towards God, and they do it in the 24th day of the 9th month, about midway through December of 520. It says that since the day that the foundation of the Lord's temple was laid. So consider that since that day when you gave your life to Christ, when you gave your life to this temple and focused on him, there's a blessing. It says that God will bless them. Even when there's no seed yet in the barn, the wine and the fig tree and the pomegranate and the olive tree have yielded nothing. God's preparing our heart. He's preparing us for this blessing. He's preparing us to be able to share the gospel, to produce fruit in other people's lives, which is an absolute blessing in our life. And so as we look at this text, really focus on what God is doing, how God is preparing our heart to be able to work for him. And consider what it looked like before as God was drawing us to him. And now after we receive God, he's preparing us to produce fruit in not just our life, but everybody around us life as we share the gospel with them. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful day.